Hello and welcome back to the Motorsport Chat. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Olivia.
So we had a very chaotic race at COTA in Austin last weekend.
We did.
So a very, very impressive weekend for Ferrari. I mean, where has this pace come from?
Honestly, it's a great question.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what upgrades, because I haven't seen anything about them saying they have upgrades. So where has it come from?
Where has it come from? So we're going to have a quick debrief about the race, because I think it was one we all expected to be a fairly boring race.
Yes.
But my oh my, did it have some brilliant overtakes.
Exciting.
And it was so exciting the whole way through.
Yeah.
So, Lando, once again, Norris lost the lead.
He did, yep.
Do you think he ever will?
I don't know. I think, like, the pressure, I think, gets to him. You know, Max, he's very off the start, very, very quick. Whereas Lando, he's always that quite a bit slower compared to Max, which, I mean, he has the pace. Lando has the pace to catch up, but the start is so important, getting a good start.
The thing is, COTA is a weird one as well, because it's such a wide turn one that you've got more of a chance to cut through and, you know, take the lead. But I feel like he could have defended from where he was, and he just couldn't quite get to the front. He's always struggled with always. But someone who didn't this weekend was Charles Leclerc, who had a flawless finish the whole race.
It was brilliant.
Glided through. It seemed like he had control of the team, which is something that we don't often see at Ferrari. They seem like they don't know what's going on with strategy. They always seem confused. At one point in the race, one of the Ferrari engineers spoke to Sainz and actually spoke to him, giving him strategy, asking him about what strategy he wanted to do. And he replied, "I don't know what that means."
Yes.
And if that doesn't tell you how messy the strategy team are at Ferrari, I mean, come on, that's...
But we've always known this, haven't we? Monaco, come in, stay out. It's always a mess.
It is always a messy situation for them. But I think that's something Leclerc did really well. He stood his ground when he thought he should pit. He did. And I think it worked really well for the team, considering they managed to get a 1-2.
I know.
Which is
crazy. It's
so
great.
unexpected.
I love it. I love seeing them on the podium.
Do you think we'll see this consistency carry through? Because we know that their pace has been so inconsistent for the past 3 years, really.
Yeah. No, as much as I want them to be fast and really consistent, I just don't think they have that yet.
Yeah. Maybe
next year. I mean, I always say this, maybe next year, maybe next year. But they never really do. You know, like, it's difficult, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to have the consistency to keep getting podiums.
Yeah. So one other thing from this weekend is the McLaren chrome livery. What are your thoughts? I liked it, but I think it looked quite good because we were in the sun. Yeah. So I feel like it did look quite good. And it kind of, in some ways, it did look like the Gulf livery when it was in certain lighting, which I think was nice because we all love that. I mean, come on, what McLaren fan doesn't love the Gulf livery?
Yeah, exactly.
So is this something you want to see carry on? It's quite smart with the Google Chrome and the Chrome livery. I think it's quite cool.
I think it would look quite cool in like Singapore with all the lights like shining. It's not my favourite. I prefer like their like usual livery. Yeah. But I mean, it spices things up a bit.
Definitely.
It does.
So last weekend, we saw quite a few rookies battling it out on track with some of the older drivers, which is always quite nice to see, the different generations battling it out on track. One that I really, really quite enjoyed was Colapinto and Magnussen.
Yes.
Really entertaining on track. Both don't currently have a seat next year. No. So really it's a free-for-all to fight and battle out on track. But I have to say, some really good attacking, defending from both sides. They're both very aggressive drivers, and it pays out because it's so entertaining to watch.
And I think one driver that I really enjoyed watching was Liam Lawson.
Oh, yeah.
Liam Lawson and Alonso having a little bit of a fight. I tell you what, though, Liam Lawson is a very confident driver.
He is.
He was going for it. He was racing. He was really, really racing, and I think he's probably got that seat long term.
So at the minute, it's looking quite interesting because there are a lot of rumours going about the Red Bull seat for next year next to Verstappen.
Yes.
Now, which rookie do you think could take that seat? Do you think it could be Lawson or Colapinto, or do you think that there's someone else that could come in?
I think Lawson will go to Red Bull. I mean, I would love them to have Danny back, but I just don't think it's realistic. It's not realistic. But I think Colapinto is going to stay at Williams. I think he's gone there and done so well, especially for the team. I think it'll benefit Williams having him on the team, absolutely, because he's just raced so well.
Yeah. So there were quite a few battles with Verstappen and Norris throughout the race, which as fans is great to see, because really the only championship that's going on, the fight in the Drivers' Championship, is between them two.
Yeah.
Realistically. So it's always good to see the championship contenders battle it out on track. And I think they both put up a good fight.
They do. Yeah. I think they're both very strong drivers. Lando has got incredible pace that I love seeing. But yeah, it makes it so much more exciting than when Max was sort of 20 seconds ahead all the time, and now it's sort of him and Lando are very much on the same page. It makes it so much more exciting. Like, this season to watch is such a good season. Yeah. It's brilliant.
So, let's talk about the incident where Norris obviously was going for the overtake and it turned a bit messy, let's just say. So, Norris technically overtook off the track, but claimed that he was ahead at the apex. But then Verstappen has claimed that he was ahead and that was his corner. But regardless, he also went off track.
Yes.
So it was quite a controversial one, really, as to whose that corner was in the first place and who should rightfully get the overtake or be ahead. So some argued that Verstappen pushed him off, so he had no choice but to overtake off track and stay ahead. But then shortly after, Norris did then move under braking, trying to defend on the straight. So it didn't really help him in his
case.
Yeah, no. In his case, really, against the stewards. But it ended up that Norris lost that place and had to take a 5-second penalty, which meant that the team had to tell Piastri to pull back so he wouldn't lose the position to Piastri and lose the points in the championship. So it all got a bit messy in the end, really, and Norris basically said at the end of the race that it would have been more beneficial for him to just
take the penalty,
given the place back.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird one.
What were your thoughts on that? Do you think it was any specific driver that should have got that position?
I think, well, watching it back, I do think Max was ahead.
Right.
Into the corner.
Yeah.
But then I haven't seen all the angles.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but in my opinion, from watching it back, I do think Max was ahead of Lando. But, you know, it's difficult when you're actually in the car. You can properly see it.
I'm more surprised that McLaren didn't ask him to just give the position back, because he had the pace to re-overtake.
Exactly.
And he had enough laps left to do it as well.
Yeah.
So I think I don't quite understand why they didn't do that, but...
And he probably could have made up those seconds that he lost in the end anyway because of his pace. So it doesn't really make much sense.
Definitely. So obviously this will affect the championship. Leclerc coming further up and Norris not getting the points that he could have got if he was on the podium. So how do you think this will affect the Drivers' Championship, and do you think Norris has now lost this championship effectively?
I wouldn't say he's lost it. I think he's probably, well, the team have probably just made it that bit much harder for him. I still do think he's in the running. You know, they're not like miles and miles apart. Max has obviously still got quite a few above Lando, but I do still think that if Lando is racing how he has been, I think he might just get it, or they'll be really, really close.
Definitely. So I think a few other points were Haas were quite quick this weekend, which I didn't expect, along with Ferrari, whose pace was unexpected. Do you think it's just the track that it's suited, or because they're not a team that we tend to see consistently gaining points within the top 10? So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. You know, they tend to like fluctuate in where they are in the positions and things. I think it is just purely the track, because if it was them, I feel like they'd be more consistent and in the points more often. Whereas, you know, they're not in the points every race. Yeah. So I think it just depends purely on the track, the weather, like all of that. I don't think it's,
So the last time we did the Motorsport Chat, we spoke about the controversial incident with Ricciardo stealing the fastest lap point away from Norris.
We did.
Since then, it has been announced that the fastest lap from next year is being taken away. Now, do you think that this is the right decision, or do you think they should have kept it to the top 10? Or what do you think about the fastest lap?
I like the fastest lap. I do like the point, but then again, it is like what happened with Danny Rick. He took it, but I do think taking it away is probably not the best thing that they could have done. I think maybe just keeping it to the top 10, or even
the
like
top 5 or 3 even.
Yeah, exactly. So that other people can't just take it away, but then it sort of does make it a bit more exciting. It adds that little sprinkle of excitement. What do you think?
I don't know, it is difficult, because I do think that with Ricciardo leaving, it's quite bizarre that he took away the championship point, yet he's not even part of the championship anymore, which I find quite odd. And then I also think it's bizarre because Red Bull have the sister team, Visa RBs. Most of the teams don't. So I do think it gives them an advantage that other teams can't. They can't have a sister team. It's not a possibility for them.
Exactly.
But then it does give that kind of team fight. I don't know. It is quite interesting, but I'm not sure the way it's been dealt with in the past has been fair necessarily. So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see whether it comes back in the future, because I think it is something that fans like, because it does, I don't know, give that element of, I don't know.
I also think it'll be interesting to see if it does make that much difference, and whether it is just there's no need for it, or whether people really do want it back. It will be interesting to see how much of a change it makes not having that fastest lap point.
Yeah, because a lot of the time when a leader was 20 seconds ahead, they would pit for the fastest lap as well. Yeah. So we're kind of losing that aspect of, they could pit, but something could go wrong, and then they could lose the fastest lap, possibly the podium, all sorts. So yeah, I think it's a difficult one, but it will be interesting to see whether it does make a return, like a lot of things that have been taken away from the sport. So Mexico this weekend. Yeah. What can we expect? Have you got any predictions?
I do have predictions.
Right.
And when I was writing my notes before, I had that gut feeling of, I know that this is going to be right.
Okay. Oh, this is
when you have that
strong
like
confidence,
proper
Liv.
feeling.
Okay.
I'm confident about this.
Oh, I want to hear this. Go on.
So podium for Mexico, I think P1 Lando.
Oh.
P2 Carlos.
Oh.
P3 Max.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wrote it down and I thought, that's right. I felt it. I felt it.
I mean, I don't see how that could. That's not crazy. I don't think that's quite a realistic prediction, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's necessarily a track that I think I associate Lando with being strong there.
No, neither did I.
And quick, which is quite interesting that you put him first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Verstappen might make a comeback and take P1. So I think I'd say Verstappen P1.
Okay.
I'm going to say Norris P2. And then I might go for one of the Ferrari boys, probably Sainz as well, just because I think Leclerc probably, he's never consistent, is he? So for all we know, he could be P10 this weekend. And
exactly.
You know.
Who knows?
But it's a great track, and we have the arena section, which is just incredible.
Amazing.
And the atmosphere is amazing. You can hear the crowds on the cameras, which is just
it's really
amazing.
Cool. It's brilliant.
And yeah, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen out on track. Hoping to see more battles with obviously Norris and Verstappen. Really, that's what we want to see.
Makes it exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah. And these rookies are just so interesting to watch, both on track and off track. Colapinto's given us some incredible memes.
He's brilliant. I really like him.
He's very sassy. He made a comment about one of the drivers pitting and using up more tyres, which is bad for the environment.
Yeah.
He said it in a sarcastic way, so it was funny, but...
He is good. I like him. He's a good addition, I think.
Yeah, I think we've missed characters like that in F1.
Especially with Danny Rick going. I think it's nice to have... And Seb. I feel like they were both very sarcastic, had that little bit of personality.
Yeah.
I think it'll be nice to have somebody like that.
Definitely. And a lot of his images have been heavily, heavily compared to Ayrton Senna.
Yes.
Because a lot of people compared Antonelli to Senna because they have slight similarities in the face. Yeah. But my gosh, some angles of Colapinto, it is like a doppelganger.
Scary. It is,
which
is
so
really
bizarre
weird.
Because in any sport that's quite peculiar to have two in the same category that are that similar looking, but to have two F1 drivers that look that similar
it's very strange.
Do you think that's a telltale of how he could be one of the new greats?
It
maybe
could be. He could have that. It might just be in his bones.
It might be.
It might be.
Possibly. Right, okay. So one other thing I wanted to mention this week is that we're heading into the Formula E testing soon, where we'll have the all-female test.
Yes.
Which is so incredible because we've got a lot of the F1 Academy drivers taking part in this test, which is massive.
Yes.
So good.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
So excited.
Unfortunately, we can't be there because we are at university. But I think it's going to be great. Obviously, Formula E starts way earlier, so we're back this year, which is really, really exciting.
Really cool. Really exciting.
So yeah, we'll get to have some more racing before Christmas, which is quite nice because a lot of the series carry on January, February times. It's nice that we get some before then.
It is.
Is there anyone in Formula E who you think might do well? Do you think any of the female drivers could possibly get a seat on that grid?
Oh gosh.
Even in the near future.
I'm trying to think of someone that really stands out.
I think Abby Pulling is amazing.
I literally was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
She's good. And I really like her. I think she's, what's the word? I think she's always very consistent.
Yes.
And she's got that sort of, just like that feeling about her. I feel like she's, I do like her.
Yeah.
But I also would love to see, and I know obviously she's not doing F1 Academy, but I would love to see Jamie Chadwick back.
Yeah.
I would love just love to have a little race and see how she's doing.
She's doing well in America.
She is, yeah. She's doing really well.
She is very successful, but I think it would be nice to see her back in European racing.
Yeah.
Even
I
in
miss her.
DTM or I don't know, World Endurance Championship or something like that, where we see a lot of drivers drift. They tend to go towards Formula E and then move across to endurance, which is quite nice because we get to see a bit of that.
But I think I would quite like to see her back.
Yeah.
See her back and see how she does.
Definitely. I think I'm excited to see Chloe Chambers. She's definitely a driver that I think has really come to life this year in F1 Academy, so it'll be nice to see her and see how they all do because they've finally been given this chance to show what they can do in the cars, and I'm excited to see what kind of lap times we're going to see, how comfortable they feel in the car, and just some more women out on track.
It'll be great. It'll be really exciting.
Which is what we want to see. So now we're going to bring in our friend Megan, who knows absolutely nothing about motorsport. We're going to test her knowledge on Formula One drivers. Hi Megan, how are you?
Hi guys.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of the show and I'm so excited to make my first appearance.
Yeah. We're excited.
So you don't know much about Formula One, do you, Meg?
Genuinely, I don't think you could find anyone with less knowledge than me. I have never seen an F1 race. I know some of the names, but can't match the faces.
Right.
Okay.
So we're starting at rock bottom here, ladies.
This is going to be fun. Okay, so I have a few images of F1 drivers, and we're going to test Megan's knowledge of who the drivers are.
Excellent.
So let's start with driver
Brilliant.
number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is driver number 1.
Okay. To me, he looks like an Edward.
An Edward.
He does.
Okay.
He looks like an Edward. He's got a kind face,
Right.
but looks like he can be stern.
Okay.
Oh.
I reckon he's pretty speedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reckon he's one of the good ones?
Okay. Well.
Okay, but I've never heard of an Edward. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Max Verstappen.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Three-time world champion.
Yeah.
Well, Max Verstappen
times.
is one of the names I know as well, so I should have gone with
and
that.
you kind of described him like the best way possible,
Really?
I would say. Yeah.
Right. Well, I knew he was going to be rapid, but I wish I had just said the name because that name was in my head.
Okay, so this is the next driver we have.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to go with Lando Norris because
Okay.
I know his name.
Yeah.
That's the other name I know, and I know the ladies are quite fond of him, and he's not a bad-looking chap. So let's go with Lando.
So that was.
Not him, obviously. No.
Did you want to tell?
So that was Liam Lawson,
Not clue.
newbie, a
Yeah.
newbie. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a New Zealand
is.
driver.
Well,
He is.
I'm sure he'll be very popular also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So this guy.
He's a driver?
Yeah.
He's a driver, yes, indeed.
Oh God, I can't lie. Not a clue on that one. I'm gonna go with Nick.
Nick.
He looks like a Nick. He's definitely been on the scene a while. No?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
looks-
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got
I
that
know you're
spot
right
on.
He
about
looks
that.
a bit on the older side.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure though who that could be. Nick. Let's go with Nick.
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 I don't like the look of him though, to be honest.
Oh.
Okay.
Is he a bit controversial?
A
or
little
am I-
bit.
Yeah?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So that was in fact Fernando Alonso.
Yeah.
Oh my head.
Yeah. Who? That. He's one of the most talented drivers on the grid.
Is he a nice guy?
He is a nice guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would say so. I think.
Yeah.
Good
I
for
like
him.
him.
Good
I
for
like
him.
him. He's a good egg.
So. Yeah.
Well
That's what
done,
I'd say.
Alonso.
Alonso. Fernando is his
Fernando.
first name.
Okay.
Fernando Alonso.
Okay.
We think you'll know this one.
Yes.
We think you'll know this
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're banned.
That is Lewis Hamilton.
Woo!
I know that because he was with Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I literally know that. I said, that's Nicole Scherzinger's fella. Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant.
Yeah, love him. Listen, okay, here we go. Maybe I'm going to change this whole thing up and you're going to think I'm really good. He was with Ferrari. No, he is now with Ferrari.
Well.
Yeah,
kind
next
of.
year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Next year,
Yeah.
he's moving to Ferrari.
Yes.
Yes.
That was a scandal.
Look at you.
And he was with Mercedes?
Yeah.
Mercedes for the longest time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Maybe we've got
I've
our,
been
doing
our third host here.
Third host here
Maybe
now,
I'll be a
guys.
reoccurring guest. Who knows?
I think it would be
She's
brilliant.
clued up. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for this, Meg.
Thank you,
Thoroughly
guys.
enjoyed this little chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I've had a great time, guys.
So that's all we have time for on the Motorsport Chat today.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Motorsport Chat.
And that's all we have time for. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.